Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Bill Bailey. In the news this week, Boris Johnson's advisers come up with a way of making sure he doesn't mix up the North, the Midlands, London and Scotland.
Coal, cars, cash and trees. Coal, cars, cash and trees.
With 2 minutes to spare, Lewis Hamilton remembers he hasn't bought a lottery ticket. And at the Universal Studios theme park, there's a mixed reaction to the new Alfred Hitchcock ride. On Paul's team tonight is an MP whose recent hashtags have included hashtag Johnson is a liar, hashtag Tory liars, hashtag Tory corruption, and hashtag tax the rich. Please welcome Tory MP... Oh, sorry. Labour MP, Dawn Butler. On Ian's team tonight is a sometimes controversial comedian who once said, I think you can make a joke about anything. Fair enough, as long as you're not saying anything too inflammatory, like claiming that the crested grebe is migratory. Please welcome Finn Taylor. We begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Paul and Dawn, take a look at this.
Yes. Climate change,
Lots of
clearly.
pollution.
Air pollution, you're absolutely right.
More pollution? On the one on the left?
Oh, hello.
Oh
You're tall.
You're through to the Samaritans.
my God. Oh, my word. He's like, no, cut him off.
Now, the Queen has pulled out of hosting a reception for world leaders at the conference. What would she be doing instead?
Is she hosting the One Show?
Could well be.
I tell you who's done a lot to reduce their carbon footprint. Prince Andrew.
Yes.
He's
Well, 'cause
not left his house for months. Good on him.
Andrew's not going because the word cop is in the title. The Queen actually has been told to rest. But why is she so knackered?
95.
And apparently sources have told the press that she has been staying up late to watch TV.
What sort of sauce is that, though? Like...
Me, I probably said it. I don't know. So, I mean, she probably watched the extended version of this show, which goes out at, I think, 3:07 in the morning every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, the BBC have been really giving it a push.
They have.
They've been giving it a right look. There you go, see?
Contains some strong language and adult humour. Fuck me, I never knew that.
Is that Rue Paul Merton?
Yeah.
Who has done their bit this week by pledging to be carbon neutral by 2060?
2060?
2060.
Oh, is that North Korea?
Well, you're in the right ballpark.
South Korea.
Saudis.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. The Saudis have this week promised to cut their carbon emissions to net zero by 2060. And, you know, when those guys promise to cut something, they don't mess about. What? How did Boris Johnson embarrass himself in front of a group of schoolchildren last week?
Oh, wow.
He pointed out family resemblances between himself and the front row.
He said something about feeding humans to animals.
He told school kids he was sad to see the destruction of trees and green sites, joking, we could feed some of the human beings to the animals.
He's become quite extreme as a green, hasn't he?
In other environment news, who has made a not-so-welcome return this week?
Insulate Britain.
Yes.
Insulate Britain. Well, they didn't go away, did they?
They've been gluing more things to the road this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody glued their face
Somebody
Yeah.
glued their face to the
to the
road.
road. That's right.
Things have reached the heads glued to road stage of the climate crisis.
For me, they had this morning, yes.
I'm concerned about your head.
Yes, so am I.
You're not going to snip yourself, are you?
Hopefully not. You'll find out if there's blood coming out.
Brings a new meaning to the phrase keeping your ear to the ground.
I mean, of all the silly things to do,
Oh, that was a very careful silly. Oh, you can spot a sitting MP, can't you? It's quite brave, though, isn't it? I mean, I know
Brave?
it's silly, but he stuck his face to the road.
Stuck his face to the
I mean,
ground.
a hand.
And it could just come off, and it could just be a face on the road.
Face off.
Or a road on his face, and every time he laid down, somebody tried to park at him.
OK, that's a happier outcome.
He had his aspirin inhaler, though. He'd glued his hand to the... And the aspirin inhaler is just out of...
Just out of reach.
Just kick it over, mate. Just kick it over a bit. Put it in my mouth. Now, of course, there's some anti-Insulate Britain protesters, and they've been using lots of interesting tactics to try and stop the campaigners this week. What do you think was the most brutal thing they tried?
Somebody started playing bagpipes, didn't they?
That's right, yeah. What could be harsher than that? Somebody tries to move them by playing the bagpipes in their face.
And if that worked as a political tactic, the English would have left Scotland centuries ago.
Now, how did talk radio host Mike Graham embarrass himself in an interview with an Insulate Britain protester?
Concrete can grow?
It was extraordinary. Look at this.
Morning, Mike.
Oh, hello. What are you glued to, Cameron?
Just your screen, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. What do you do for a living, Cameron?
I'm a carpenter.
A carpenter, right. So how safe is that for the climate?
Well, I work with timber, which is a much more sustainable material rather than concrete. I also
But you work with
retrofit-
trees that have been cut down then, don't you?
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can. See you, Cameron. Cheerio.
I love the way he just pretends to freeze.
Yeah, carpenter, eh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Trees, oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a useless job, Jesus.
Yeah. I know. What are you, paramedic? Oh, paramedic, are you?
Yeah.
What, bringing people back to life so they can breathe more air? Talking about daft things that people say based on no facts, I'm coming to you, Dawn.
OK. Uh-oh.
Now then, in October 2019, Dawn Butler, you said, let's just accept people for who they are and live as our true, authentic selves. Nothing wrong with that. I get behind that. It's a totally an honourable, noble thing to say.
I remember
But
this.
then you said 90% of giraffes are gay.
It's actually true.
Hold on.
This isn't a talk radio truth. I mean, I read it. But it is a known fact. But the argument was then that people
Well,
say...
I
to me
read it, it's a known fact.
No, let me finish. They're not gay, they're predatory, and so they have a lot of gay sex, but they're not gay.
Hold on. No, I mean, I don't know a lot about giraffes, you know. But what I do know is that they move in, you know, the females move in a group, don't they, roam around. And the males, they don't come across them at all. And occasionally the male will be allowed in to, you know, put a bit of, you know, when you get caught between the moon and New York City. And, you know, I know it's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
And do a lot of the male giraffes...
And the male giraffes then take no part...
Do they have sex with...
They have sex with lots of women, and then they take no
Women?
part in the upbringing.
Having sex with women?
No, female giraffes.
Stop going to safari parks.
Women
If you
giraffes.
do go, don't take a stepladder.
For God's sake. Women giraffes,
this is a
not
scandal.
actual women. Well, all this giraffe-based nonsense is the fact that, yes, this is the build-up to COP26.
Which has got nothing to do with giraffes.
This is the build-up to COP26. Last week, the Queen stayed overnight at the King Edward VII Hospital, or as she prefers to call it, Great-Grandpapa's Paulie Palace. Boris Johnson has used both Kermit and the Wombles to promote his green agenda. Asked if he had no other frames of reference apart from old children's TV characters, the Prime Minister said... Ahead of the climate change summit, Boris Johnson held a press conference to children, where the most common question they asked was, what will COP26 achieve? Closely followed by, are you my daddy? Ian and Finn, have a look at this.
This is the allowance for Boris's 9th kid.
This is the budget. He's undoing his jacket. That's a metaphor. There they are.
Absolute lads.
Get in.
Stag do. Oh.
He's not going through the revolving door just yet. It's the budget, which, again, I mean, is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, you must be really tough, Dawn. I mean, because, you know, that's a Corbynite budget we've just had. It's the biggest giveaway, the biggest tax and spend since the 1950s. I mean, how do you oppose it? What do you say?
We could have sorted out sort of VAT on fuel. People are going to be plummeted into fuel poverty this winter. There's a lot that could have been done. This is definitely not a Corbyn budget. But
do you think?
But I get the PR around it though.
Absolutely nothing in the budget for LGBT giraffe rights.
150 billion. I mean, it's amounts. I mean, the Labour Party hasn't dreamt of spending that much for years.
Well, some of us have.
They've slashed the price of Prosecco and short-haul flights.
Yeah,
All again shows
crazy.
that Rishi's in the pocket of the big Hindu company. He's going to be cutting the duty on those little penis straws next, before you know.
He's given up on austerity. They tried that for 10 years. It didn't go so well. So we've dumped austerity and we've gone for optimism.
Oh, yeah.
That helps.
Which is less concrete and scientific, but it plays better.
Yeah, it
So if you
sounds
say to
better.
people...
When you say
it'll
it's
be
less
fine.
concrete, do you mean there's no opportunity for growth?
What happened when Rishi Sunak got up to make his speech and then somebody had a word?
Speaker, Madam Deputy Speaker, because
Apologise.
they'd already leaked the majority of the budget beforehand, and parliamentary protocol and the ministerial code, which is constantly being broken, means that they're supposed to come to Parliament first, and they don't. And so
Well, there are other codes that are broken, aren't there?
there are
Dawn?
loads of codes that are broken.
What, calling people liars?
Well, yeah, but Boris Johnson is a liar. I mean, it's not as if I made that up. Do you know what I mean? There's enough evidence out there.
You do the research, Ian.
Yeah, there's enough.
Done the reading.
And I'm interested in the criticism of breaking the code that matters with Rishi Sunak but not with you.
I didn't break the ministerial code because I'm not a
broke the
minister.
MP's code.
He's a minister and he stands up and he breaks the code. You know, they get caught with their pants down. They get away with it. Oh, it's a private matter. You know, they bully civil servants. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a private matter. We'll just pay them off. At any other time, the Prime Minister would fall on their sword.
What, like when the Mandelson affair happened in your government's time?
I'm not
Did
saying-
everyone
look,
fall on their swords? I don't think they did they?
Tell me one minister that has resigned in Johnson's government. Hancock breaking COVID rules to be snogging and whatnot. Was it to the moon, in between the...
Moon and New York City.
The moon and New York City.
I know it's crazy, but it's true.
You know?
It's the best that you can do, isn't it, really? I mean, eventually.
He did resign, though, didn't he?
It was forced to. He
Oh, I see.
he
So
should have
no. One minister who's
been
resigned.
sacked. He should have been sacked, not resigned.
He didn't resign, did he? He was resigned, wasn't he?
And he was...
He couldn't be trusted to resign on his own in case he resigned something else by accident, like the Isle of Wight or France.
Exactly. And then they tried to bloody recycle him by giving him to Africa, and Africa's like, no, you can have your rubbish.
Here's a picture of Rishi delivering the budget. Do you want to see some more pictures of Rishi Sunak?
Yes, please.
I would, yeah.
All right, then. Here's Rishi and Simon Clarke.
Oh dear.
He was a lot taller. That's one of the books on the top shelf that he couldn't. And here is Rishi doing some glove puppetry. Never thought I'd say that.
Oh, yeah. He's explaining the budget to the PM, isn't he?
Now, Keir Starmer couldn't respond to the Chancellor's statement. Why was that?
COVID.
It's the 5th time he's had to go into isolation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough, right? You know, he can't be seen in public. No one can talk to him. He can't give his views on anything. And on top of that, he's got COVID. But you wouldn't speak to him, would you, Dawn? Would you? Would you speak to him? I mean, you're a bit of a Corbyn fan, aren't you?
Of course I would speak to Keir. Keir's the leader of the Labour Party. I'm a Labour MP.
I just
You
read
don't
this
stop
on
me-
I read
don't
this
stop
in some research I was looking at earlier on.
Keir only thinks 80% of giraffes are gay.
Keir's all right.
Yeah.
There's a ringing endorsement.
It's all right. Come on. Also in the news this week, the government, after much ridicule, has performed a U-turn on water firms dumping raw sewage into the sea. Good Lord.
A U-bend, in fact.
A U-bend, yes. And why? Why were people so upset about the government voting down the Environment Bill?
There were 400,000 incidents of water companies dumping raw sewage last year. And the reason they did it was cheaper to pay the fine.
You pay for it to be dealt with is more expensive than paying the fine, which is ludicrous.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about levelling up, isn't it? You want to spread the shit around the country. Too much faeces in the southeast. People in the north haven't had shit for years.
No.
This is Rishi Sunak's budget statement to the House of Commons. While preparing his budget, Rishi Sunak was seen wearing sliders. If you don't know what they are, sliders are a kind of footwear, unless you're Matt Hancock, in which case they're your trousers. Just before he tested positive for COVID, Starmer was practising his budget response in front of his staff. As a result, we now know that the virus can be transmitted by a yawn. On to round 2, and backed by popular demand from Series 33, Episode 4, it's Name That News.
Great.
Here's your first clue.
Hey, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Oh, yeah.
What's the matter?
Yes. Shut up your face.
Oh, shut up your face.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Very well done.
So do we have to get the story now? Is there a clue?
There's a clue. The clue is literally in the name.
Shut up your face.
Shut up
your face.
Your
Facebook.
face.
Yes.
Oh,
Shut up your Facebook.
Yeah, no wonder we haven't done this for 30 years.
is it the whistleblowers?
Yes.
Facebook.
That's right.
Ah.
This... Oh, hang on. This is... I can't do that with... I can't even lean on it. Oh, for fuck's sake.
This clip is going to be appearing in the Channel 5 documentary called When Quiz Shows Go Horribly Wrong.
What is whistleblower Francis Haugen accusing the company of?
Facebook promotes hate speech to those who are interested in hate speech. It points them towards sites which are misogynistic,
Right-wing.
homophobic, etc.
That's right, exactly. It takes people who have mainstream interests and it pushes them to extreme content.
Yeah.
So exactly right. So you could start off looking at Little Mix or something, the next minute you're looking at Slipknot. You know, that's the sort of way it works.
But there's another whistleblower appeared as well, who said that basically they put profit before any sense of morality, and Facebook were told to clean up these sites that attracted children, and the executives wandered around saying, oh, don't do that, that doesn't make us any money. Essentially, Facebook is what everyone assumed it was doing anyway, which is basically amplifying toxic drivel.
Internal papers revealed that the Washington Post said that the site would rank reactions given to posts, and here are the 6 of them. There you are. That means like, love, haha, wow, sad and angry.
Yeah,
and
they stormed the Capitol, that last one.
Yeah. It's like a relationship in 5 emojis. Like, oh, love, haha, wow, sad, angry, the end. There's 5 points are given to the angry emoji and 1 to the like. So posts that had more angry reactions would appear higher up the newsfeed, as you say, amplifying this unpleasantness.
What do you think, Ian? Will they be regulated in the end?
At every point, whenever there's a new technology, whether it was a steam press at the turn of the previous century or it's the internet now, at some point they have to admit they are culpable and they are responsible, and then they have to be regulated. The monopoly should be broken up, and Damien Collins and various people are actually trying to make them admit you're not a platform, you're a publisher. you're putting this stuff on and you've got to be responsible for it.
What was the problem with the steam press? Is that causing a lot of suicides, a lot of, mobs?
Early newspapers, it meant you could get 1 million newspapers.
Oh, I thought you meant like a trouser thing.
No.
I see now.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
And aside from making us all hate each other, Facebook, they've been working on building the metaverse. I know it's difficult to explain, but there is a sort of an agreed definition, which is VR on acid.
I mean, so you don't live in the real world anymore.
Right.
You just live inside a screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit like us.
Lots of people do.
Yeah. We're trapped in the metaverse. In other news, why has this dinosaur statue in Portsmouth been upsetting locals?
A bunch of giraffes are trying to mount it.
What you're saying, it's too sexy. It's too sexy for Portsmouth.
It's made of concrete and it's growing?
No. It's a size issue, right? It's too small. This is the original statue. Now, that burnt down, right? I don't know how. And then £35,000 replacement, 11 years later, is this.
Can I just check on the size of that dog before I criticise?
This is the news that Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen has been revealing the company secrets to Parliament's Joint Committee. Facebook have been accused of putting profit over harm to society after they made £8 billion profit in the last quarter. Obviously, that's after tax. It was originally £8,006,000. In other high-tech news, 3 of Britain's intelligence agencies have struck a deal with Amazon to store classified documents. The producers are already factoring this into the next Bond film. The dossier should be waiting for you at home, 007. If it's not with the neighbours, try looking behind the bins.
I tell you what, who wants some showbiz gossip?
Go on.
I've got it. There's a lot of speculation about who's going to be the next James Bond, and according to my source, this week they definitively ruled out Alec Baldwin.
OK, it's time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. Your 4 are French Vogue, the name Nigel, Boris and Boris, and Hanforth Parish Council.
Is it that French Vogue is closed, the name Nigel's dying out,
Yep.
Hanforth Parish Council closed down?
She's moving. Is she live? Is she the odd one out? She's the only one that's live now.
Are you on Zoom, Jackie Weaver?
Am I anywhere other than on Zoom?
Yeah, exactly.
What was the question?
So she's the odd one out because she's the only one that's live, as opposed to the other ones.
Well, no, it's not that. It's not that. Jackie's not the odd one out.
Oh, she's not?
No. OK, I'm going to tell you the answer. They're all changing the name except for the name Nigel, which isn't being used anymore. No more Nigels. I tell you what, no, the Hanforth Parish Council, of which Jackie is obviously our famous member, they shot to fame earlier this year as a result of a chaotic Zoom meeting. Let's remind ourselves of what happened.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
Just wait. No, she's kicked him out. Don't. She's kicked him out. Don't.
This is a meeting called by 2 councillors.
Illegally?
They now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge. Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them.
What's happened to him, Jackie?
I think he's allowed to use an iPad on its own now.
So, Jackie, in order to distance themselves from that debacle, the Hanforth Parish Council decided to change their name. What's it called now?
Hanforth Town Council.
OK, well,
that's brilliant. We'd never have guessed.
Thank you very much, Jackie Weaver. Now, the Office for National Statistics has revealed that the name Nigel is on the decline. What would parents rather call their babies than Nigel?
Anything.
Anything.
More babies were called Lucifer last year.
Oh, wow.
than were called Nigel. What is the fashion magazine Vogue Paris changing its name to?
Is it Private Eye? We're changing our name to Vogue. First cover model, Jackie Weaver.
Yeah.
She's still there! She's still... Jackie, do you not know how to end the Zoom call?
I'm just looking for Ian's address now.
I'll send it.
Are we in the metaverse now?
No. So there's two Russian politicians there, Boris Vishnevsky and Boris Vishnevsky, and they're not quite what they seem. Neither of them are the real Boris Vishnevsky. They both changed their names to confuse voters who may have supported the real Russian liberal politician, Boris Vishnevsky. In other news, a fish and chip shop in Greenwich got into trouble recently over its name. Can anyone think of a mildly offensive name for a fish and chip shop?
Fish and shit.
Chip or fix it?
It's named after a terrible murderer.
Hitler's Fish Bar. Jack the Chipper.
Jack the Chipper! It is Jack the Chipper. Well done. Here's the chip shop owner himself, Recep Turhan. He got into a lot of trouble. The locals didn't like it. They decided to boycott the shop, claiming it glorifies the serial killer. And they also suggested the business hates women. So how has he tried to prove that he isn't supporting a murderer?
Did he do ladies' night? On Tuesday.
Yes, he did ladies' night. They had a half-price day for women. Yeah, they've all changed the name, except for the name Nigel, which isn't being used anymore. The royal family often influence trends in names. Archie is now number 9 on the list of most popular boys' names after Harry and Meghan used the name for their son. And Andrew has also made the list, but sadly it's the FBI's most wanted. Fish and chip shop Jack the Chipper has refused to change its name. The owner said it would be the last thing on his mind to capitalise on disturbing crimes whilst biting into his customer favourite, Jimmy Savaloy. So, the final scores are Ian and Finn have 3, Paul and Dawn have 4. Woo! On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Finn Taylor, Paul Merton and Dawn Butler. And I leave you with the news that Angela Merkel admits she might have overdone it a bit at her leaving drinks. After severely criticising their carbon emissions policy, the government admit it was a mistake to let the Australians design the COP26 meditation garden. And in London, an Insulate Britain protester glues himself to an ancient monument. Good night.
Bruce Springsteen, Barack Obama and Dame Judi Dench. That's only some of the Graham Norton Show guests tonight at 10:35. Brand new and hauntingly live from her kitchen, Mrs. Brown and her boys. Next.